Top of the morning here at kingcast.net, Mortgage Movies. I want to alert people to the fact that bad legislators like Senator Kelly Ayotte help protect big banks when they do illegal and amoral and immoral things because they are protecting the banks because of their pension accounts and CAFR accounts. Anyway, this is a particular case of Anderson v. Burson, huge case out of Maryland that was wrongly decided, and I've had some concerns about this case for quite some time. I've been a licensed title insurance producer and journalist for quite some time, and also have a law degree. So, I'm very concerned about the case, and Mr. Anderson contacted me yesterday for the first of several interviews, which will continue on with videos in the coming weeks and months. He recommends that people go to the website right there, the Maryland Court of Appeals webcast, scroll down to item 8 to get a feel for the case and how it was decided in a manner consistent with, the courts doing anything they could to protect the banks.
We're here with kingcast.net, Mortgage Movies, and I'm speaking with Hosea Anderson, who, of course, is the litigant in Anderson v. Burson, which is the High Court fraudulent foreclosure case that I believe was decided incorrectly in Maryland just several days ago. Mr. Anderson, you were just giving me some pointers on where people could look to get a feel for the case.
Well, where they can look to appeal for their case,
to get a feel, to get a feel for your case.
Online, this information is online, Anderson versus Burson, and the Court of Appeals, the Court of Special Appeals, I would assume that you started the Court of Special Appeals, but it's categorized as Anderson versus Burson.
And you were indicating that there was a lot of discussion that is on the oral record that points toward the attempts that were made to make sure that this note was enforceable.
Yeah, there's a webcast, the Court of Appeals oral argument webcast that can be pulled up online, and it's visual as well as audio.
Okay. Now, this is going to be a multi-part interview, I should tell everybody, because eventually in the next several weeks we're going to do a face-to-face interview. But just to start this off as part one, tell us what happened at the initiation of this foreclosure proceeding. To whom were you making payments? Things of that nature. I understand you're an artist, correct?
That is correct. I am in fine arts.
Okay, so you weren't, you're not legally trained, but you took the time out to try to learn what's going on because of this case.
I am self-employed.
Yes.
Have been. And I have been in business for approximately 30 years. Okay,
and what type of art do you do?
Well, I'm a realist, if you want to classify it as such. But primarily what I do is I create illusions for photographers across the country. These are huge backgrounds that they use in their studios and various concert events.
Gotcha. As a photographer, I like what you do. So now, jump forward to explain immediately what happened that immediately preceded this foreclosure action.
I received a notice from allegedly the substitute trustees under the deed of trust appointed by Deutsche Bank Trust Company Americas, claiming that I was in default on a loan, which I've never heard of these entities before.
Who are you paying your mortgage to?
I was initially paying my mortgage to Wilmington Finance, so I took that's the contract that we agreed on.
Okay, the alleged loan, yes.
That's correct.
And so you're paying to Wilmington, and what happened?
Excuse me?
You were paying to Wilmington, and then what happened?
Approximately 4 months in making the payments to Wilmington, I received a letter from Saxon Mortgage saying that they are the new servicer of the loan. And I had questioned Saxon as to who is the owner of this loan, and they couldn't give me an answer. So I immediately contacted Wilmington, and no one had responded to my call, so I sent them a letter, and someone responded saying that we'll get back to you within 10 days. Well, 10 days passed, 30 days passed, and I sent them another letter. Then I to prevent from being in default, sent my payments to Saxon, assuming that they were the correct party, and began to question as to whether or not Saxon was the owner of this loan, and they could not give me an answer.
Okay.
So, as time progressed, my wife and I discussed that there's a possibility we may be getting scammed here, and stopped making the payments to Saxon. And Saxon sent a notice approximately 30 days saying that we were in default. And we sent a letter to them stating that no, RESPA, etc.
Right.
And then we did get a notice 30 days after that saying that they are in the process of foreclosing.
Did you send a qualified... Time out. Did you send a qualified written request to them?
I didn't hear you.
Did you send them a qualified written request?
Correct.
Yes. Did they respond to it in substance?
No.
Of course not. Okay. So then they filed the foreclosure action. When did that happen?
That was February I believe it was the 6th of 2008.
Okay. All right, I got you. Now, essentially, we're going to end this first segment right now, but there are lots of issues as to whether it should have been heard under an Article 8 analysis versus Article 3, because it is a security, and it was not heard that way. And basically, I've read the decision, and they basically said that because in a deposition you stated that Deutsche Bank currently held a note or something like that, that was enough grounds to find standing.
Well, their statement was that I had conceded to the debt from the beginning, and that was a dispute because if you keep in mind, everything in the record from the beginning stated that Deutsche Bank Trust Company Americas was the principal of of Saxon or the substitute trustees. 9 months later, we find out that this particular trust was under Deutsche Bank National Trust Company. However, that was also in dispute because when we pressed for them to bring the note to court, the note had no endorsement on it at all, not even from Wilmington.
Right.
And then they provided an allonge claiming that the allonge was the endorsement from Wilmington to Deutsche, which we know was an impossibility because if it's securitized, then there would not be a negotiation. Once something is securitized, negotiation is out of the question.
That's right.
Now, they brought the action under Article 3 as a negotiable instrument, but claimed that this is in a particular trust. Now, research has told us that for these things to be legally transferred, there must be an endorsement from each transferor to each transferee.
Of course.
We know that that did not happen.
Right. Yes, and by the way, I do have forensic experts at my beck and call for you to review further if you need to. This is a 5-minute interview. This is now 7 minutes. We're gonna cut it off right now. We'll be in touch. I'm signing off. I'll keep on the phone with you. Hold on.
Very good.
And I do hope that you file. I hope the court accepts your motion for reconsideration. And I hope that there's a way to get this to SCOTUS as well.